take that outpost, and one could start on Kenne, and then obviously whoever hit that outpost up there can check this little port area.
And then collapse in.
Yep, and then kind of collapse in like this, and both elements can move together, and make their way towards the airfield.
Yeah, do we want to move together? Is there even anything in Kamini?
There's
probably
all over this island.
Yeah.
This entire island is close.
We got to secure the whole island, pretty much.
Okay. Do we want to regroup the two line squads, or do we want to, from their objectives, push down? So, like, Gladius would push down from this side of the hill.
The idea that I kind of have is converge the squads, probably around about this location here, which will then, hopefully, depending on how long it takes to take out the Vielkatipo, Hammer can then move to its area while the other squads move up, and then we'll split. So, let's see. Gladius will go that way, and Vengeance will go that way. And then, yeah. Coolio. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do think the line squad should split after the regroup point, though.
Yeah, that's what we're saying, yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Like, before we get into contact.
Question. What are the scouts doing?
Fuck, there's so many of them.
They're primarily working
to OP
primarily working on fortifying the airfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
looking at, I probably won't be able to see the eastern hills, but I can see 233.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think scouts can move to OP Primus, get a lay of the land, obviously depending on what it's like. If they need to collapse off their position, just let us know they can collapse off the position. Given the amount of scouts that you have, honestly, you might just be able to take the airbase just by yourselves.
Probably.
Especially with Tectum running around in a fucking armature. If you do need support, obviously I can collapse off, come and give assistance if need be. And so can Tectum. So
yeah,
I think,
so OP Primaris to use my last game to blow up any vehicles at the vehicle depot to make it easier on you guys, and then go push the.
Yeah. So I'm thinking scouts just deploy before obviously we step off probably in drop pods.
Roads from Cooper.
Then basically just
Cooper.
Fucking
need one drowned into the T4 channel. Over.
Pretty much, though, I think
mark stuff as you're moving. If the hill is just fucking utter foobar,
thank you.
Feel free to collapse off it. Let us know that you're collapsing off it. Then just move into the fucking airbase and just take it.
The squishies.
All right.
Yeah, if Falkov gets set up in time, Falkov can be
when do you want them deployed?
While we're still but either way, this is a small AO for a lot of Space Marines, so I got a feeling we're gonna kind of fly through this portion of it.
Oh yeah, this one definitely. Yeah,
we got a lot of guys for a really small area.
So once we brief
I get this is
the main briefing, just touch base with them. And
it's fortifying. This is gonna be our fob.
This
is like that's why you're saying
battle plan.
All right.
Yes.
I'll be in the chapel.
Yeah, we're establishing sectors now.
Yeah, we could do that real quick. I mean, it's already 12:05. I don't know how much they want to step off time now. But once we capture it,
do your fucking diligence. I'm gonna go brief the main group. You guys aren't gonna miss anything in the main group briefing that you don't already know.
Yeah.
All right. So if that's the case, then it's pretty easy. I mean, we got a big rectangle. We've got what we'll call it, 4 squads, including the scouts. Just split it into 4 different quadrants, and then
is the 99th supporting the defense?
I'm assuming,
they will,
but
obviously their objective might be a bit slower since there's only 4 of them.
So I would say right now, we literally just split the base into 4 quadrants. Each one gets assigned to either scouts or one of the 3 main line squads, and then once we capture it, just start fortifying your quadrant. Spread out, set up proper defenses, so we got a full 360 around the fucking airbase, I'd say. So right down the middle, pretty much how Dragnil's doing it. I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it more. I was thinking more like a split like this. Yeah, pretty much. So that way they can do a left flank, a top flank, north, east, and then you have south, east, you have south, west, and then northwest. It's kind of each quadrant, so you can build like an L-shaped defense, and you're not trying to do a north and south, like running in between the whole base. Yeah, once we capture the base fully and we start fortifying it, yes. We'll probably, what I mean. So
fuck! I'm forgetting the
so that way, as soon
terminology
as
for
we're
it.
good to go, fucking guys can roll right into getting up fucking fortifications, getting walls built, establish like where we set up like our little fucking HQ, clearing out, make sure we don't make like I know fucking we gotta keep an eye on our little fuckers, but like last stop I had a guy like, hey man, like don't build a tower in the middle of the airfield in case we need to use it. So make sure you are kind of keeping an eye on your guys, that they're being smart and where they play shit. Yeah, because if the ship needs to come land, because that's how we're doing reinserts and shit, having a giant fuck you tower in the middle of the airfield might not help us.
Yeah, I feel like if we end up not having enough pilots, we may just start doing pod inserts.
That's fine, but I'd still rather just need a plan for the just in case. So pretty much just like I'd say rule of thumb is don't place anything on the airstrip proper. I think would probably be the best way to do it.
Whenever we set up into our defenses, make sure you move your icon to how Dragneil's setting them now to where your main defensive position is, because we'll likely build circles and then expand off from that as we build defenses. Just so we know like localized points of defense.
Yeah. But yeah, there we go. That stuff pretty much marked.
It's nice. All
there.
the fortifications you build are literally visible on the map, which is nice as well.
Yeah.
I would say.
Anybody have any questions, comments, concerns?
Give my sector to the scouts because they actually have enough numbers to probably fill out a defensive quadrant. Because I'm losing Stern after like half an hour. It's literally going to be just me and Electo.
Well, and me.
Well, and you, but yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
but I don't build.
I would give this area to the scouts because they've got a fuck ton and they can actually properly build it up and fill out that whole defensive area.
Yeah. Star, do you have anybody in the scouts that you trust enough to look after the autistic children if they're in another quadrant?
So I think you have Gladius as well.
I was just going to fill in wherever needed it.
Yeah, so there you go. Swap me for Gladius. I'm sorry, I thought Pascal said Gladius. So yeah, just swap mine out for Gladius.
There we go. Makes life easier. And then you and
always in a valley.
And then you can just stick with me.
Yeah, and then we can bounce between either help.
Also,
like maybe I'll hang out with the scouts for a little bit and kind of help him kind of.
Yeah. Also, just so you're aware, the banner that you're wearing now that you're a first sergeant, you get the fancy Vexalia banner.
Ooh.
Which is the one that has like terror and shit on it to symbolize you are a first sergeant.
All right, I'll swap to that once we have the chance. But thank you. All right, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, any questions, comments, concerns? Sweet. Then it's time to be like utter badasses and just go and fucking walk into the briefing room.
No, that shit's gay.
For damn sure.
Yeah, so I believe for the first insert, it'll most likely be drop pod just so it's fucking fast, swift, and fucking surprise. After that, though, it'll most likely be Johnson picking up and taking people where they need to go. Otherwise, Johnson is just not going to be doing anything the entire fucking 12-hour op, apart from, shooting shit.
First stage of this operation is a landfall operation on the island of Utez, as marked out as AO Sanctity on your map. It is to the nearly to the center of the operational area that we're currently in. The first part of this operation will be clearing Utez Isle, which is an enemy stronghold populated heavily by Traitor and Traitor PDF forces. You can expect to run into light to medium armor, large amounts of infantry, potential demonic activity, basically the whole 9 yards you expect to run into when you're facing their light forces. To the 99th Jovian Grenadiers, I will start with you first. We have identified a section of the island which you should concern yourselves with primarily. It is marked out to the southeast of the purple phase line near to Operating Base Templar. You are to clear that entire section of the island. To that end, you can deploy yourselves as you like, come up with your own operational plan as you like. I will be providing Seneschal Tectum, who will be operating his Knight Armature today as a pilot to insert you wherever it is you choose to insert yourself. Cyros, you've got overall command of that section of the operation. My only concern is that you clear this section of the island of all contacts and deal with anything present in the town of Strelka. You may choose to deploy something like a Chimera if you feel you need armored transport. That is up to you. Just let me know what you would like to have, and I will get you sorted out in that regard once you land. Mark out your operational plan, discuss with the rest of your squad, pick yourselves an LZ, all that happy shit once the briefing is finished. Any questions about that from the 99th?
None so far.
Perfect.
User joined your channel.
Alright, moving to the main portion of the operation that the Imperial Fists need to concern themselves with. We will be doing two things. We will be clearing the northwestern section of the island that the 99th is not clearing, so basically the entire remainder, and we will be taking, clearing, and fortifying the airfield that has been marked Operating Base Templar. I'm not sure of the exact specifics of the plan that the sergeants and everything have come up with, but it is essentially going to be standard land clearance where you've had individual sections marked out that you will be dealing with. Your sergeants will most likely brief you once the squads are organized and they are finished discussing in the command room. They are finalizing the plan as we speak. I just wanted to be able to brief you guys the overall situation. So we will be clearing the northwestern portion of this island. We will be taking Operating Base Templar. We will be heavily fortifying it, and that is the operating base we will be working out of for the next 6 hours. Once the 6-hour period is up, we will be transitioning to a different section of the planet. There will be a 1-hour break period, 45 minutes to 1 hour, and you'll have an opportunity to go get some food and do anything else you need to do. There will be additional discussion related to that as soon as the sergeants get in here. But it's a pretty standard ground clearance. Like I said, large numbers of infantry, light to medium armor assets. You can expect Trader PDF, Trader Imperial Army, the whole nine. We will have air and armature support present, courtesy of Griffin and Arclight. So feel free to call for them as needed. 99th, two things related to radio frequencies. I don't know if Star told you. 70 is the emergency all hands frequency. That's long range 70. You are required to be listening to that at all times, regardless of station. And 80 is the command frequency. So Ceros, you need to be listening to long range 80. If you have a MASCAS, you need assistance, or you want to call in support from either Griffin or Arclight, that is where you're going to call on long range 80 for those things. Does everybody understand the briefing and the general situation?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yep. Does anybody have any questions before I move into general administrative announcements? I know the intel on the situation is a little sparse and we're kind of running blind here, but one of the primary things that we're going to be doing during this first objective is obtaining intelligence on the manner in which our enemy is behaving and who exactly we are fighting. We do not know much about this cult, so we're going to be gathering intelligence as we go. Orion, yes, go ahead.
Do we know if a friendly night house was on this planet? It was turned traitor or not?
We are not sure of that at this time. At least I don't. Cooper, do you have any information regarding that? Cooper might be AFK.
He's talking just really quiet.
Sorry, forgot I want to deal with her. So from what intel we do have, there was a Mechanicus enclave that was setting up a night house on this planet. So, but as for whether or not they are still loyal or not, we do not know.
Well, there's your answer to that. Cass, what's your question?
Couple ones. First off, civilians, we gotta worry about them at all?
Civilians are present on this world. If you encounter civilians in close proximity to the enemy, regardless of situation, they are to be considered tainted and to be executed immediately. If you run into civilians that are not near to the enemy or a decent distance away from any enemy presence, you may leave them alive and we will have them checked for taint by the apothecarian after we finish the clearing operations. But again, just to reiterate, this goes for the 99th as well. If you encounter civilians that are in close proximity to enemy forces, they are to be considered tainted and traitors and are to be executed as such. Does everybody understand that?
Sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Any further questions?
Yes, more from me.
Go ahead.
Are we going to have to worry about any nefarious chaos other than perhaps traitor Astartes? Will we have to worry about demons or chaos spawn?
Yes, that is highly likely because this cult is attempting to perpetrate rituals to turn this world into a plague world as stated. We can't expect the forces of the archenemy to be here in force including demons, demon hosts, traitor starties. We can expect the whole 9 yards. They want this world, they fully intend to take it, and they're not going to hold any bars in order to do that. Further questions? No further questions? Perfect. Regarding administrative matters, a couple of things I want to discuss. This is a 12-hour operation. The first thing I'm going to say to every single person here is, please be understanding and patient. We've never done anything like this before. We don't know how it's going to go. We don't know how the server is going to behave. We don't know what is and isn't going to break. Additionally, the upgrades to the server that were so kindly paid for and purchased via donations from the community have not arrived in full due to Amazon shipping being unbelievable dog shit. So we're operating on the usual server that we've been operating off for the last 3 months. The Zeuses are aware of this. They're going to do their best to keep performance high and acceptable, but you all know how Arma can be. Please be understanding in that regard. If there are significant performance issues, please make sure that makes its way over 80 and is communicated to me or the Zeuses so that we can do something about it. Does everybody understand those things?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I understand.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yes.
Additionally, you may have noticed during the course of the week there was a change to the unit rule set. You are required, I'm going to repeat that statement, you are required to be listening to long range 70 regardless of station. I don't care if you're a scout, you need to be listening to long range 70. That is the emergency all hands channel. What that is for is if your squad takes a mass cas, there is a significant arrival of enemy forces that needs to be reported immediately, or any other emergency that needs to go out to every single person in the unit, you communicate on that channel. If you do not have an emergency, you do not speak on that channel, but you need to be listening to it at all times. If you are found to not be listening to 7-0 at any portion during this operation or any, it will be considered a rule break. You may suffer penalties, including strikes or being asked to leave the remainder of the operation due to disobeying orders. Does everybody understand that?
Yep.
If you do not understand, scouts or guests, how to set your radio to long range 70, please see Master of Reconnaissance Star after I finish my briefing, which will be done in just a moment. Additionally, one other rules change was put in. I added definitions to what is considered lone wolfing, so that hopefully we can continue to mitigate that particular problem, as well as penalties associated for egregious cases of lone wolfing. If you have not read those rules updates, I would suggest you do so at your earliest convenience. One last note, this is mainly for the sergeants. If anybody in your squad is in dire need of a break, or you yourselves want to take like a 30-minute break and just take a breather, communicate that over 80. We can arrange to have you exfilled, rotated off the line for a period of time to give you a break. This is a very, very long operation. We want to give you the opportunity to take a breather when it is needed, all right? Adaman, what's your question?
I don't know if you stated this, but will there be friendly armor support included?
Yes. Like I said, I did state that. We'll have Griffin in the air, and we will have Arclight, our Knight Armiger from House Hawkshroud, on the ground assisting us.
So will I be attached to a SWAT, or will I be in my own vehicle?
You will be attached to a squad at the moment. Do you not have a squad assignment?
No, I do not.
Okay, Dragneil?
Who is this?
Adaman.
Raj.
You may end up in armor later, but for the moment,
Please.
this island's so small that we don't really need it.
You can put him in Lorimel's spot in my squad, Dragneil.
That'd be perfect.
That was the idea.
All right. Do we have any last-minute PTSs, questions, comments, concerns, etc.?
For the Emperor!
For the Emperor.
For the Emperor.
For the
For
Emperor.
our human father.
For the Omniscient.
Dragneil, are the sergeants prepared?
What?
They are. They can begin briefing them in.
All right, sergeants, organize your squads, get your pulse oximeters, make any last-minute loadout changes you need to make. Let me know when you're ready. Dragneil, what's our insert?
All right, broadsword.
Initial is drop pod.
Initials drop pod, roger. All right, Ciros.
Yes.
Come up with a plan, get yourselves organized. When you're ready to step off, come see Tectum. He's somewhere around, and he will get you to your bird, and you will be dispatched. He's right here. So he'll take care of you.
Also, just so you're aware, since I'll primarily by myself, I'm just going to be running with Tenebris for the time being. He's going to basically broadsword, just going to act as basically my command squad for the time being.
Okay. I will be somewhere, probably bouncing around a lot.
Yeah.
Let's
do.
go
For a second. Yeah, well, your
50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was that? 50.5?
Will do.
No, just 55.
Oh, yeah.
55. Alright, sorry, you were cutting out.
Now at least we see blue squares.
That's my blue boys.
Just join my squad. Yep. Alright, so it's pretty easy. We're kind of the smaller element, and we're going to be losing Stern after a little bit, so we're going to go even smaller. We're going to be kind of rolling with Dragneil, so we're going to be kind of more
Short
like
range check.
floating, kind of back up.
Understood, Gibber.
You're my command squad.
Stream rolling.
Yeah, if you look on the map, show what other squads have like a set objectives. So we're going to land. Hammer's going to be pushing off to take the vehicle depot and then get eyes on the airbase. Gladius is going to clear that little outpost to the north. Vengeance is going to start clearing the town of.
I think you're on a whispering. I barely hear you.
Gladius will finish clearing that.
It doesn't help that,
thing, and then maybe help them with the town, depending on how long it takes Vengeance. We'll reach a regroup point, at which point they're going to split off and attack the airbase from 2 different points.
If there are
We
any
might
armor, do you want us to try
take
getting it out of the city?
the kind of
The air
between
control
push
blow
as
up
well.
rockets?
Just kind of adjust fire depending on how, like, you know, if one squad gets more contact and needs more backup. Once we take the town, the airbase, each squad's going to be separated into defensive zones. We'll probably also just just read what Cooper said. We'll probably just bounce between help reinforce. If one squad needs help putting forts down, we'll help with that. For the most part, like I said, we're kind of just more of that command element. So there's gonna be a lot of movement. Like if a squad takes a mask has, we're gonna pick up, move to them. Especially since we have a tech marine and an apothecary with us, and then me and Electo kind of just pull security while either of you guys are doing whatever task you need to do.
Right.
So yeah, pretty much just all around support squad.
Gladius is prep.
Can I give a small comment on the two hills?
Understood. Once all
Hill
people are prepped, stop
207
making your way to the drop pod bay.
is barely 2 meters above the vehicle depot.
Confirm heading to drop pod.
I've seen the map.
Got it. Yeah, cool.
If you type in IF.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It does. Yeah, that's the main reason why I introduced the fucking rule. Like anytime I get a first,
Everybody has their pulse oximeter and everything.
That I used to wear.
You guys all set though? You guys have all your gear? You ready to roll?
You think we could convince Prime Market Lionel Johnson to give us a Watch for the Dark, just play jock jams for us?
Alright, well, let's make our way to the drop pods.
What do you mean? We
Last
have
one's
one.
ready
He's
to
right here.
move.
Stop moving to the drop here.
That's true.
Come on, Admin. We gotta
Little
go.
mushroom boy.
They've getting pretty buff
You don't get the
lately.
player book.
Yes, I do.
Come in low.
Figure out the prayer book when you get inside the drop pod.
So do you, from Point Alpha, are we pushing straight on?
Control P.
Everybody was using my hands.
Another admin boys, I forgot to bring out. We're gonna be together a long fucking time. So doing something that is obviously stop everything.
How fucking dare you take my drop pod?
From me, bro.
I'm a
Oh
my god, go wait until the lovely side.
I suppose that is so
I love you.
Don't worry, it's midnight for me, which is 6 hours.
I changed it 3 times.
I put my cards straight.
Leading in this mod?
I'm ready to see if I can also play
Most squads do let me know.
I can never get over how rigid
Right.
I have
That's
shift.
sorry,
I'm
guys.
I
have for one question.
I'm gonna take a
I don't listen.
for a second. I'll be back.
What is it? I've been playing Road to 56 Imperial Japan, and I've been playing like Big Navy.
I'm running in the drop pod bay.
No, they made it wider.
Dude, I have like 700 fucking hours. I love it so much.